Okay, so we're going to continue on with reading for the Spiritually Awakened Collective. Today I've got a lot of throat issues, so I think it's just throat chakra that it's time for all of us to really speak our truth, be our truth, and share what we have to share. So today, okay, they're asking me to do some tea leaf as the top. Oh, well, there we go. So there's the stork. So apparently we will do 4 today. Let me see how I will fit them in. Hi, darling. Chair filled. I need to move that over. Heart, hi. You be nice, Kay. Okay, so the first one, I guess I will hold it up. That is for the stork. The next one is chair filled. The next one is heart, and I'm assuming that these are reversed. I will have to see. And then the last one is bread. Okay, so then they're asking me to, okay, so they're asking me to combine each of these in 2s with Kali. Okay, please let this group know what it is that you would like for them to know. Please let this collective group know what it is that you would like for them to know. And I have feral kitties here who are over a year old, and they do what I call echolocation. The two, they call to each other until they find each other. So one is looking for the other right now. I think the other one is out back. Sweetheart, you're going to have to go out back. Okay, 1, 2, whoop. Okay. So this is the first one, so that one's going to go there. This one is Kali Kalmasa Nasini, and there is the image. And then this one is Kalika Tantrika, and there is the image. And then, okay, they're doing a different one today, so I'm just going to go with it. These are Hidden Truth Oracles, so like this, like this, and like this. And then lastly, they want me to do some Gilded Tarot. Excuse me, because I really would like to stay within the 15-minute time frame. They're going to have to really chitter-chatter a little faster. Okay, so I've got 2, and I want 2 more, I think. Third one. Of course, it goes in different order. And one more. I hear you, darling. Yeah, I know you gotta go find him outside. Gotta go find him. Okay, so there are the 4 cards, so they go like this. And always make certain to put them in the order that they pop out. Okay, so let's see. Man, this throat thing today, very interesting. It's been with me all day, so I apologize. So first, there is the stork, news of a birth or a new business opportunity. Chair filled, someone new is entering your life. So the stork. So the stork definitely says something new is coming into your life, as does the chair filled, and it could obviously be a birth of some sort, excuse me, or a business opportunity. Let me read this one here, and then I'm going to tie those 3 together. It is time to free yourself from what has been. Learn from it, but not allow it to define you or direct the course of your life. Give up your stories about the past. You have outgrown them. Kali consumes mistakes, sins, and negativities. Let her free you now so you can open to the gift of your life unfolding. Okay, so this card here talks about burning off all those mistakes from the past, all those experiences from the past that just simply don't feel good. And so I really feel that by letting go of that which no longer serves you, and that builds on, I don't know if it was yesterday's or the day before, where it was, if you had amnesia at this point in your life, who would you be? How would you present yourself to the world? And when you can master this lesson and recognize that it is very difficult, setting aside your story, your narrative, your trauma is very difficult. And so whenever you have a reaction to something, if you can say, okay, if I'd never met this person, if I'd never had this past experience, what would I do in this instance? How would I behave? And by doing that, you allow the birth of something new, new opportunities, new businesses, because you're no longer stuck in the old narrative. Okay, so then I wish I had treated you better, and I hid who I really am from you. So this is your, not your higher self, but your grown-up self talking to your younger self. Okay, so when we're grown-ups, we can see where when we were children, that inner knowing, that caregiver, that provider, that guiding essence, force, whatever you want to call it, if that had been there, it would have been able to keep us safe and protected. But when we were children, we were at the mercy of our caregivers, and so we oftentimes experience a lot of trauma that we didn't carry, and that's the baggage that this talks about. We carry that baggage throughout our lives until we address it. So let me tune in real quickly. Until we feel it. So you really got to feel it. You observe it. So you see yourself from outside of yourself, where you say, oh my goodness, he or she is really having a hard time. This is a really challenging experience. Then you set it free. So you say, okay, I'm done with this narrative. I no longer need it. And then you replace it with what you prefer. And so look at that particular situation and say, if I had been a grown-up in that circumstance, how would I have preferred to have behaved so that I would have shown up for the younger me? And it's a process. And it's a process for many phases. I hid who I really am from you. So the reality is, as we grow up and as we have those traumas, we shut those parts of us down, we hide them. And the outer expression that we share with others really is that trauma wounded one. So the one who has had learned coping mechanisms and skills. And so the real us, we hide that from ourselves because it didn't work for us when we were younger and when we were developing those coping mechanisms. And because we honestly weren't aware of how this worked for the most part of us, when we came into adulthood, we just carried that trauma with us. And when we hit a stressor of some sort, we go back to that training, that programming from our youth, and call upon that, because we work out of the amygdala, we work out of the fight or flight part of us versus the kind of the logical thinking, intuitive, spiritual person. Okay, so now here we have the Seven of Pentacles. So, actually, I'm going to look at both of these. So there's the Ten of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. So what I'm feeling is that these two, it's an either-or opportunity. We can either say, I'm going to continue to feel stabbed in the back and dead to the world, just not able to show up for myself and do the things that I need because I've had so much trauma and I can't function anymore. I'm done. I'm fully cooked. Or if we work on this piece here, we can build abundance. We can create this lush garden, this tree of pentacles, which are the material things that will care for us and protect us and nurture us. And so I figure that those are the two choices, either to continue to stay in our trauma or to trust in the universe that this abundance will come once we show up for ourselves. Okay, so now over here we have heart, love, deep affection and caring, which I love, period, and then bread, period of prosperity and abundance, which they both have a common theme. Kali overcomes karma, realigns us with our path when we have veered off course, reverses the momentum of negativity, and detaches draining energy cords, restoring us to full vitality. It may seem like you're will is being thwarted or you are not getting what you want, but the goddess knows what she's doing. Her actions will benefit you. Trust. Okay, so here we're talking about this narrative. Now, when you get into a space of, okay, I'm going to trust that the universe or whoever your divine guidance system is, when you trust that there's love, deep affection and caring, as well as a period of prosperity and abundance, and that anything and everything that presents itself to you is there for your highest good, but really what means is it's here to take you where you're meant to go. If you trust that, it says here that she realigns us with their path we have veered off course. So wherever, so what they're showing me now is when you're in like little bumper cars or something, and you're in a path, they have these bumpers on the left and the right. And so whenever you go off path, it bounces you back into your designated course. And so you need to just trust that. And if you can stay out of the negativity, which again talks about your childhood drama, it detaches you from draining energy cords. When you think about your childhood trauma and it still has you ensnared in its clutches, versus you saying, this happened to me, but it no longer energizes me. And one perfect example is to share the story, excuse me, the narrative with people about a certain aspect in your childhood or your adulthood. When you're able to talk about it very objectively without getting emotional or attached to the feelings that occurred, then you know that you have achieved this. It is part of your past. We're not asking you to forget it, is what I'm hearing. But you don't want it to energize you, because when it does, it's a draining energy cord. Okay, I am becoming a better person. I feel you even though we are apart. So your grown-up version and your child version, you feel each other. You recognize each other. When you think back to what you were, who you were as a child, when you tune into that, you can really feel who the child was, and the child can feel into who you are as a grown-up who is there to protect and serve this child. And you just tell this child, I'm becoming a better person. I am now going to show up for you in a magical, miraculous way. And this doesn't happen overnight. It is a daily journey of overcoming our trauma to become the part of us that trusts in the universe, and that the universe will bring us what we desire. Okay, so now here we have the Emperor and the Magician. Okay, let me tune into each card. So with the Emperor here, I'm feeling it's interesting. I'm feeling a magical quality similar to the Magician. It's a different card. The Emperor, this is where you just are. You know what you have attained. So I feel like you have to start with the Magician card, where you alchemize, you create this out of nothing other than trust and belief. Look, he's touching nothing. But here are the cups, the wand, the sword, and the pentacle. And so one of each of those, the ace of each of those, is there to create what it is that you desire. And by alchemizing it with this, you become the emperor of your own life. But it starts with creating something new. So over here, we've got the news of a birth or new business opportunity. That's the Magician card. You need to create something new out of the trust of that your life is taking you where you're meant to go, and to step out of your past trauma and your past narrative. If you keep saying, nothing good ever happens to me, oh my God, I'm a magnet for whatever it is, it's a trauma, it's a belief system. You either experienced that in your childhood, or you were told that in your childhood. And the goal here is to break out of the narrative that keeps you enslaved in this, as well as the draining energy cords. So is there anything else? No, they're saying, no, this is it. So I can see how this is building on yesterday's reading. They're guiding us how to step out of, I'm hearing, the victim consciousness. So if this resonates with you, please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or on YouTube. Thank you.